to worry about all that back and forth. Like I
Oh,
put
you know
mine
why I
on.
don't do contacts? Because my eyes are pretty. And when I was in high school, I used to wear. Mom had got me contacts and helped me put them in and taught me how to put them in. But people be like, "You got contacts on." Technically, I did, but I'd be like, "Yeah, I do," but my eyes are still this color. So for years, people thought them was contacts, them not her eyes. So when I got in high school, they did that. Like 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, I just stopped wearing contacts. I just wanted people to understand, like, my eyes are really this cold. They really this pretty.
Okay, so you are worried about the perception of somebody that doesn't impact your life on a daily basis, and now you
Yes.
inconvenience in your life by not wearing contacts as a grown ass woman.
Yes,
I
because
just
my
wanted to make sure
eyes,
I was clear.
yeah, because that's my. Do
Your
you see
eyes are still
these?
your eyes, and you
Hey.
don't have to have a
Quantify.
conversation about somebody with somebody. Like you don't have to
This
have a
is like
conversation.
this is my attribute here. This is like
Yeah, and contacts don't take away from that. They
immediately.
just make it so you can actually see the eye opposed to 10 inches of glass like we in jail having a conversation. I'm trying to help you
No.
out here. So
Let
if
me
you're so
explain that again.
so if you are trying to say that you want people to see your eyes, then you shouldn't wear glasses and you should wear contacts. Now, the fact of color contacts isn't even a thing nowadays, comparatively back in the day to when people used to wear contacts to change their eye color.
We need to do a survey on that. Who
Right.
on this pod, like who used to wear colored contacts and shit, and see who's gonna
Right.
keep it 100. Yeah, that's real.
I don't
This
even,
nigga.
and it could be too. I wear fake nails. I wear fake hair.
Yeah, but
My
what I'm trying to
eyes are
say is that
real,
again,
and I don't want to wear contacts to let people think that I
okay,
wear
so
fake eyes.
but that doesn't make any sense when you can't see.
It makes sense to me.
You can't see though.
That's all that
Like
matters.
you have to wear, like you shouldn't let somebody else dictate what you do, especially when you know the truth. So just wear contacts.
No, because
Maybe
then
she
would
don't
have
like
to
wearing
explain it.
contacts.
Yes, yeah.
I like to do this.
There you go. That's right.
But your eyes not even like blue though. Like
No,
they
they're
just
not
regular.
blue.
Yeah, they regular. Like
My eyes are not regular.
they're not,
They
My bad. I was
on
trying
you.
to have common sense.
And
they're
look,
not regular.
That's on
the
me.
good
They're
That's
thing
on
not
me.
too.
regular. They're not.
So when we were
super.
sitting up talking and I did slide them off, like what I don't even know what color my eyes are right now. So they were like the regular brown or hazel stuff. While me and him was talking, they did the thing. They switched to that light funny green. He was like, "Wait, your eyes changed." And I was like, "They'll do that while we talk. And you'll notice they'll be orangish, greenish, lighter brown." I said, "That's
Give him
just
that
my
game.
eyes. They
Yeah, give him that
changed."
game. Give him
Right.
that
And
game.
he was just loving it. I
Yeah,
was
give him that
like,
game. Give that young brother that game, boy. Yeah.
I have
That's funny.
fun.
Hey, let me see your shirt, bro. It say Malcolm Martin Marcus. And Mandela. Okay.
Mandela.
Okay, I like that.
It should be
See, that's why I don't do drugs. Right there.
What?
Your
You gonna say,
your first response was,
Oh, all right.
They all start
It
with
wasn't like it wasn't. There was strong black men. It wasn't. There
that
was
is
leaders. It was.
it's good across the board.
That's real. That's real.
All right, man. Let's
got
get
that.
started. Welcome to the Original Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Double OG, in the building. In the building, we got Are You Serious in the building? There we go. We got D Jones in the building.
You don't get no noise.
Oh, we don't get
Just
no
me.
noise. Okay.
Just
And
me.
we got Scooby in the building.
Y'all gotta get y'all own noise.
Oh, D,
Oh,
is
that's funny.
he not giving us the noise? What's
This the
up?
original. It's the original podcast. What's up, y'all, man? How y'all doing today?
Peace, brother. Peace.
What's up?
He said he only get the noise. That's funny. It's the original podcast. This should be episode number 8 of the original podcast, episode number 8. And really, the only thing that in the news there is to talk about mostly is the Russia-Ukraine situation. And since I got a podcast full of college graduates, high school valedictorians and stuff, I figured I'd ask them what their take is on this Russia-Ukraine situation. Really, what is it? How do you break it down? Um, and should I be scared? That's really all I want to know. Should I or should not be scared of Russia and Ukraine and what's going on over there? So uh, let's start with Neat Butt. Scooby,
Yes, yes,
should I be
yes.
afraid?
You should be in the prayer closet. I put it like that. We don't have the spirit of fear. We got power, love, and a sound mind. We have God, but we definitely need to be in the prayer closet, and we definitely need to be very observant of what is happening and how it's happening, so we know.
Hold on, wait. Observe. What'd you say? Say that
Observant.
again.
Am I
Say
saying
that.
it wrong?
Say that one more time.
Observant.
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 Aware. Is that
Observant.
better? I'm just gonna
Is
say aware.
vent. Events. Is vent. Not bent. Vents.
Observant.
Yes.
You know
Okay.
I'm a grandma. Got teeth thing. You know what I'm saying?
You get your
But
Charlotte Shaw off for a second.
all day.
Yeah.
You have to be aware. You need to be very aware of your surroundings and aware of what's going on politically, and the choices that individuals that surround you, what choices they're making, because it's going to affect us. It's going to affect us because people who have money don't want it to affect them, so they're going to pass the buck down. They're going to pass the pain down when it comes to financial stuff, and it's going to affect us the other way too, because just like right now there's a different cultures and it's a diversity melting pot going around in Minnesota. Them refugees people, they're going to be here too. We take everybody in, so it's going to affect us one way or another.
Okay. I was like, where are you going with this one? Okay.
Do you see, or you don't like it? You give
No,
them.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
I did. What? How do you feel about us, Minnesota, taking everybody in?
I'm okay with it because they take me in. Like I don't have a problem with it, because I think that everybody deserves a roof over their head, a way to provide for their family, and I think everybody deserves peace. And if you can come here and find your peace, then this is where you should be.
But
I
should I be
don't
afraid
think that the people that are here, like people of color that were here before others came, that we didn't get the same treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put us through the mill to get Section 8, or we get food stamps, or if we get daycare vouchers or subsidized housing, whatever. We go through the mill. We are considered low class and not bums and yada, yada, all this other stuff. Then other individuals come over and you allow them to use 5 security cards for one person or 5 names.
That's another question that we should talk about, because it's true, when you come over with an advantage. But I want to stick to Russia and Ukraine, because so what I'm hearing you saying is that you thinking nothing's gonna happen to us. We just gonna be taking Ukrainian refugees. Do you think it's gonna affect America? Do you think we should be scared as Americans?
Yes, because Putin is not. The war that he started was personal. He's doing it because he wanted to do it. He does not have a filter. There is no real goal outside.
So why do you think he started it? You said because he wanted to do it. What you mean?
So Ukraine and Russia, at one point in time, I think it was 1984, something like that, when they first had their combat, and Ukraine was able to declare their independence, and everybody was excited, and they got to separate from Russia and how Russia is ran, right? He was upset with that. He didn't want that, or he doesn't like that happened. So to him, that's why he got on the news and said, you know what? I don't recognize that they're independent. I know the presidents before me, individuals before me did, but I'm the president now, and they're not independent. And so he sent many soldiers, or many like little tiny, I think they're rebels or whatever, into, and I can't pronounce their places, their residents. I can't pronounce them, but there's 5. Like, okay, let's pretend we're gonna act like that Ukraine.
Okay, so let me help you with this. So
okay,
we don't even have to
do it at all. So
Tell me.
I'm just going to play it. It's the Chicago iteration. I put it on the timeline, but it actually breaks down exactly what happened in like a minute. So I'm gonna play it for you guys, okay?
On God, so Pete, basically look at Russia as a big ass sect. And several motherfuckers from that set voted to be separated so that they could start their own shit respectfully. So they moved up out the hood and set up their own little demos along the perimeter of Russia. And that whole time, Russia was definitely blue about that shit, but they was like, you know what? You can have that shit. And that whole time, Russia got ops. They ops ended up coming in recruiting a lot of the motherfuckers that had just moved off the block into their new Blick Club. And that Blick Club is referred to as NATO. And NATO is basically just a gang of countries that don't believe in one-on-one fights. Now, Russia's sitting back like, damn, y'all done already moved out the hood and now y'all clicking up with the ops? Say less. Now, whole time, the Ukraine was one of their most beloved homies. And before the Ukraine could get a chance to click up and level up, Russia was like, hell no, we on your ass. And that whole time, the U.S. coming to play because they're a part of NATO. Now, the Ukraine ain't a part of NATO, but however, they are affiliated and majority of the territory surrounding the Ukraine is NATO territory. So now it's up and it's stuck for the grade.
See, I didn't understand his language.
So basically what he's saying was that Ukraine was all clicked up with Russia. Then Ukraine was like, nah, we're going to do our own thing. Russia was like, fine, do your own thing. I don't care. So bounce out. But they was on the perimeter. Then Ukraine is affiliated with America. So they was like, well, yo, let me hook up with NATO. NATO ain't nothing but a whole bunch of people clicked up that if one of y'all jump, one of y'all fight us, we all fighting. So
I was going to say not people, but leaders.
Yeah,
so NATO is the heads of the gangs.
It's all the countries, yeah,
right.
The countries. So
right.
when if you jump on United States, all the people in NATO are gonna be like, all right, let's ride on them busters. So that's why Russia's like, well, y'all ain't about to put that crap next to me because we don't mess with NATO. So we about to run up in there, jack y'all stuff up because y'all not about to put a base right in front of our hood. That's like the ops setting up camp right in front of your house. Like, what up? So every time you go outside your house, they sitting right there like, what you want to do with all their homies. So what he's trying to do is make sure there's a buffer between them two, between NATO and all that other stuff, and that's what they're trying to do right now, basically.
So that's similar. That's pretty much close. But you got to remember, Ukraine was in between. So Ukraine is in between Europe and Russia for the most part, right? Ukraine is a buffer for both of us because if Russia can get where Ukraine is at, they can put their nuclear things, they can put all the stuff they got in the skies, they can give a closer view of United States. Same thing as if Europe can get where Ukraine is at, then they can do that with Russia.
Let me ask y'all a question. Have y'all ever heard of the Soviet Union?
Yeah.
No, nigga. No.
That was
no one.
So that's what Putin's trying to do. He's trying to put the Soviet Union back together.
Right, because that's what it was.
And Ukraine is part of the Soviet Union.
Right.
And he's saying we want our shit back.
Right.
But it's more to it. Because Europe is right there, you guys. The only reason why the United States is involved.
We have the technology where the missiles that he want to launch, he can launch from wherever the fuck he at. Right. He don't have to drive to Ukraine to launch the missiles. He don't have to drive to Ukraine to get a better view of anybody or anything at all. Like, nigga, we got drones that we can drive around the world and see everything. So it ain't. He want his Soviet Union back. He want his country the way it was back then, and he don't want the Ukraine to join NATO. Right? That's the whole thing. Correct. He don't want the Ukraine to join NATO, so he gonna take his shit back. Point blank. So what I'm asking is, are we afraid of him? Like, what would make it come to America?
He don't give a damn. That's what's gonna make it. Ain't no what.
But see, he give a damn because he want his country back. That's like America saying, okay, we're gonna lose Hawaii to Japan, which was World War II. I don't know if y'all remember World War II. Hawaii was a part of that shit. So they taking Hawaii back, right? Same thing with Ukraine. Like, nigga, we want our shit back.
So y'all think he's gonna really stop?
Why? What else will motivate him to come to America? That's what I'm asking.
He wants it.
He don't want it all though. He just wants Ukraine.
He just finished. Okay. So if all I wanted is Ukraine, then why did I just get on the news 2 days yesterday, not even 2, 1 day ago, and do 3 moves? 1, threaten Switzerland, 2, threaten Finland, and 3, make my chief, I think he was the chief of security, whoever, get in front of the camera and then talk to him
Let
like
me
he
ask you
was
that. Why did he do
and
that?
show everybody that I run him too.
Or
So
why
even though
did he
y'all
threaten
think,
them?
listen to
Why
what
did he threaten? No,
I'm
why
telling
did
I'm telling you why he's threatening them. He made sure y'all knew the top of security is really listening to what he's saying. He threatened Finland and Switzerland because they went into the NATO meeting. They're not a part of NATO, but they went to the meeting. And he was like, if you go in that meeting and you think you about to join with
So do
them,
you think he's
I
threatening
got you
NATO?
too. Huh?
So do you think he's threatening NATO then? Because that would be a threat against NATO if he
He's
was threatening
threatening
them for
them
NATO.
because he's saying, oh, you thought that you were going to let them come and sit in your meeting and possibly join you, so I can't go. I'll get them and y'all. He's not done. This is just the beginning. When you get a badass little kid, they want their candy, they want candy, and you say, here, I'll give you one. What do they want when that one is gone? They want
Okay,
another one.
let me ask you, Reggie. What do you think?
I think that we as Americans we think that everything revolves around us. And I think that everything doesn't. And I don't think everybody thinks that no matter what they do over there, it leads all the way back. It always leads back to what is the USA going to do? I think he's handling his business with Ukraine because that was his focus is Ukraine. I don't think everything revolves around the United States of America personally. That's why I say let them handle their shit. Point blank.
Let me ask Diz, what do you think?
Well, one, I think that as of right now, I think that the United States, our hands are tied, right? Being a part of NATO, you know what I mean? So, um, do I believe that we're going to have like a full invasion, as you've seen in Operation Iraqi Freedom? You know what I mean? Things of that sort. No, I don't think I see that. That's not to say it won't happen. Do I see it? No. Do I even think it gets passed? Because we got to remember, the president essentially has to ask to go to war, right? They have to ask to go to war. Can they supply a requisite amount of troops per the NATO agreement? Yeah, for sure, right? So I think our hands are tied in terms of what we have boots on the ground for sure. Will it be a full fledged invasion or an assault specifically by the United States? I don't know if I see that. No. But we per NATO, we're going to have to supply troops, period. Like that's what it is. Should you be concerned? Gosh, man, I don't want to say no and then that nigga does some crazy shit, right? But I don't know. I let Poon tell it, right? Which was, and I believe he said that anybody that gets in the way of him and what he's trying to do in Ukraine, you know what I mean, is going to feel it. So I guess that's soon to be said. I mean, soon to be seen. But I mean, it sounds like bullshit. But like sanctions and shit, like them shits are a real deal, right? Like ask Cuba, right? Like Cuba was relegated to a third world country for decades off of sanctions, right? You know what I mean? So I mean, with us sanctioning Russia, you know what I mean? I think there's some Russian oligarchs or some Russian individuals that here that will be, have their money taken away or something along those lines. But do I think you should be concerned? Not really. No. But that's not to say that eventually could you be right because Putin he's unpredictable, right? We don't know what he might do. Like let's just postulate and say unequivocally that Russia was behind the election fraud, right? So like if they were able to hack into our systems like that and be able to affect an election, there's no telling what else they may be able to do. However, as of right now, today, do I think you should be concerned? Nah, not really. You know what I mean? But that's not to say that Putin and whatever he has going on over there can't affect us in some way over here. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people do things when they really want shit, right? Because outside of just uniting Ukraine back to Russia, the USSR, right? Like I believe they have a natural gas line or natural gas pipe that runs from Russia to through Ukraine as well. You know what I mean? So it's also profitable as well, right? There's a monetary gain in there for Putin. So when it comes to war. A lot of wars are based on some wars are based on principle. Most of them are based on bread. You know what I mean? And I think that we have a situation of both of two things being true at the same time here. But to directly answer your question, today, should you be afraid? Nah, I don't think so.
Let me ask you a question. Do you really think Russia wants a world war? Do you
Putin
think
does.
that's what
Russia doesn't.
Putin is Russia though? He runs shit, right?
Yeah.
So,
There's a
so
difference.
that's no, ain't no difference. If you're making all the decisions,
Yes.
nigga, that's the same thing, right? That's
He
like somebody
wants it.
running
You
your
don't think
house.
it's gonna happen. I think he wants it.
What makes you think so sure that Putin wants a world war?
Have you ever looked at him when he talks and paid attention to what he says?
Me, no. I don't, that's what I'm asking. I
That's
don't.
why.
I have
try
listen.
my
I have
hardest
not
to-
watched CNN at all. I have not watched anything. So don't think I'm coming in here thinking I know shit. I don't know anything at all about this situation. So I'm asking, what makes you so sure Putin wants World War III?
I'm paying attention to his wording, his action, his posture, the way he's treating his other colleagues and other professionals who are around him, who are supposed to, even though he's the president, they're supposed to be there to help give him guidance in reference to this military. He has
Is he the president?
wait,
Is
listen,
Russia run the same way as America, or is this a different title? Like he's not a president, right? He like something else, ain't they?
It's
They're not
a
Democrats.
presidential
He's
dictator.
essentially
a
a president,
presidential
but
dictator.
there you go. Reg got it
Yeah.
right. Reg got it right.
but he still
So-
had to ask permission to go to war, right?
No.
Yes, he did. I just
No.
sat and watched on the news, you guys, yesterday.
Okay,
he sat
so-
at the table. He has his constituents. They was all social distance, and they broadcasted it. He had to get permission from them to say they also do not agree with Ukraine being independent, so they support what he's going to do. He had to get a majority of them to say that they do. And when he looked at each and every one of them, the way I'm looking at y'all, he looked at them like this. Do you support what I'm about to do? And they was at the, I talk plainly. Do you support what I want to do? We support what you want to do. He said, say it. And he was sitting in his chair like a boss. And they was going around to all those professionals and all those political position holders.
So again,
and they
what
was
did you hear
talking.
us say? Because we're saying that it's a presidency, but he doesn't act. So he's not really asking permission. He's going through the
Motion.
steps, the motions. But that's like, for example, when they voted him president. If you got caught voting against him, or
Yeah.
so it's really not he's not asking anybody for anything. If he wants to go to war, he's going to go to war.
Thus,
Point blank.
and
So it's
that's
not
why
a-
he just read. Aaron just asked me, why am I so adamant about thinking that his choices are really about to come over here and affect with us?
But
That's why, because I'm watching him be a
okay,
dictator.
so I guess we're asking only because we're confused. And because Aaron says, because when Aaron said when Putin wants to go war, you were like, no, Russia doesn't. And he was like, well, it's the same if he's running it. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out where you're going, because he's
Russia
saying the
doesn't
same thing
mean-
that you're saying.
They're saying, yeah, because they have to, because he'll kick their ass and kill them if they
That's
don't.
exactly, and that's why I'm saying this, because Aaron is saying the exact same thing as you are, but you're rebutting, you're coming up with a rebuttal, saying the same thing he's saying. So that's why we're just confused when we say certain things and then you rebut. We're literally saying the same thing you just said. It's
I'm
a
so
presidency.
adamant about this. I guess I should.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's a presidency, but it's not. He's a presidential dictator. It looks
so,
like a president.
Yeah, I just
He's
googled
not.
it. Yeah, I just googled it. It is a democracy, but it's semi-democracy. So
Right.
they have an executive, legislative, and judicial branch, just
It
like
looks
America
cool.
does. But the executive branch has way more power than the executive branch here. Do you know that Putin's been president of Russia since 1999?
They're mad because he won't let them vote him out.
99.
Because it's a dictatorship.
That's
Putin-
definitely
Putin-
not a.
Putin-
That's
Putin
definitely not a
changes the rules.
democracy.
Yeah, no,
No,
Putin
they-
changes the rules for
Yeah.
for elections, and then if you try to run against them, that
You guys
about
know
to
the guy
die.
who just did.
Yeah,
He put him in jail, right? You know,
Yes.
when they just
Workers
had
were
their about to be an election, he got the guy arrested on the plane, and they sent him to a camp, and
We
he
just
was in the camp for
Did you say
6
a
or 8
pimp?
months or something, huh?
Who?
The
You say a
camp, I
pimp?
forgot his name.
camp.
Oh, camp.
Camp. They sent him
Oh,
to the
Dialogue
Russian
Detective.
camp for something not even related because he was running against Putin.
Yeah, so we're saying the same thing, and that's why we get a little bit confused. Like we're agreeing with you. Like it's not a choice. If Putin wants to go to war, Russia wants to go to war. As in, y'all niggas is following suit and y'all playing the game with us. And Putin doesn't have any type of people that's going to talk against him or anything like that, because that's not what we're doing here. Like the same way like we say that we give it, like it's false equivalency of voting of the vote, even for presidency. I don't get to vote for a president. Y'all pick two people that y'all want to be in presidency based off of how y'all want this government to run, and then we are then now separated by choosing the same side.
Yo, a wise person once said, I'll let you choose the president as long as I can choose the candidates.
Right. And that's all that's happening. So when we talk about Biden and we talk about Trump, it's all one and the same type of characteristics. They're all going with a game plan. Trump was just he was talking out loud as if he was doing something so different and so magical and sparing us and saving us, when he was just doing the same thing that it's just passing on the same type of things that has been continuously done. Trump didn't do anything different. All Trump did was mess us up for taxes. That's why our taxes are going to cost more this year, and it's going to cost them more next year, and they're going to cost more the year after that. That's something that directly impacts us. But we want to praise Trump as if he was doing something so much better than what Biden is doing. Like they're all a part of the same game. Trump raised our taxes for the next 10 years. Biden isn't going to change that because they're all on the same team. So it doesn't matter. And that's why I said a couple episodes ago, we don't need to participate in something that literally has nothing to do with us. We talk about that we need to make a change and vote here and vote there. We're voting for the same thing, and we don't even really pay attention to what we're voting for. Until you guys decide to give us something tangible, I don't care what y'all vote about. I'll vote on the propositions. I don't need to vote on actual elected officials. Right? Like I can vote and move lobbyists. That's why I don't never worry about the Asian people rallying, talking about push the vote. They don't care about the vote. They don't care who's in office because they're going to get theirs regardless because they push money into things that they want. They don't care about who's the actual elected official. That money's going to tell me where my stuff is going to go. That's it.
It's more personal than anything, but I want to talk about how we live our lives, right?
Real in there.
Y'all heard that? Can y'all hear that?
Don't you ever
Yeah,
do that to your sister.
I'm trying to figure out what just happened. Like, hold on, wait a minute, what just happened? And I got these headphones on.
Dance move.
No, they always play.
You got to put one ear on and one ear off, like I do, because
okay,
so you can hear something in yourself.
Yeah, because it sounds these are good headphones, so I can. It don't sound loud when I got these on. It sounds.
I know. I slid them.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, these super good headphones. I can't hear nothing on them.
Not the one.
What's going
And
on?
another thing.
Everybody concerned now. AJ, tell them to keep it down. I'll take that upstairs.
Go ahead, brother. Excuse me. Yeah, don't get hit.
All right.
Get out of that water. I know you ain't in that toilet.
This was a perfect time for her to put that to start.
I know y'all ain't in that toilet.
Living your life
In that
your way.
toilet.
It's so funny because y'all get to hear. I get to hear it. I can hear this all day, every day. It's just so funny to me. And then Prince is good on and stuff. Yeah, it's just going crazy over there. All right. We talk about living our life our way, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this subject and how we live our life, because we talk about it in different ways a lot on this podcast, and we all at different points in our lives and careers, and it might mean something new to us, right? So Nita, you just moved, got a new car, new crib, new car, new job, new career. You know what I'm saying? You doing that. Reggie, you in the middle of the career, on your way up, progressing. You know what I'm saying? You like keep climbing. You know what I'm saying? So Bernita at the beginning, Bernita, Reggie, you kind of middle, and Dez, you at the end of your career where it's time to lay it down and call it a day. And and we all three of y'all have careers at different points. So what I wanted to ask you was, you know, we all have, it's like everybody's life is different. So y'all can hear in my background, my life is different than y'all's, right? I don't hear none of this stuff going on in y'all crib, right? Dad's crib is all, he probably got the whole room to
That's
himself
because
with the
my
door
pullout game
closed.
strong. Yours
You know
weak.
what I'm saying? Reggie, yeah.
Weak.
You ain't got no babies. You probably at the house by yourself or your wife somewhere else
Damn.
handling her business. Yeah. Bernita, you at the crib by
Twisted.
yourself. And I got 5 kids and a wife, and they all arguing in the other room. So we all live different lives, right? We all have different ways to live. But I want to know, have you ever thought about in your life at any point, are you living your life the way that you really want to live it? Or are you kind of just going with the flow? You know what I'm saying? And how long have you been just going with the flow or going with what's comfortable? You know what I'm saying? And are you willing to take that step and step out into the next level? So I don't know. Let me ask you this because you got to think about it. Let me ask Reggie first. I'm gonna give you a chance to think about it. Let me ask Reggie first. Are you serious? Have you ever thought about the way you live your life and thought, am I living life the way I want to live it? Or am I kind of just going with the way that life is presenting itself to me?
I think that historically I've shown that if I don't like the way that my life is going, I change it with my own power. Even when I was working retail and food, I made a difference of, all right, this isn't where I want to go. So what I need to do is strategically think of a way if I can get what I want to get the best way, but thinking long term and not worrying about the short return. So the only reason I say this, so like when I was working retail and I didn't have that job, I was at Foot Locker, and I was like, all right, what am I going to do next? I could have went and got another retail job literally instantly, right? Making $50,000-$60,000 a year as another manager at another store. But that wasn't the life that I wanted to continue to live anymore. I wanted to see what this corporate thing was about and being able to get time off and barely working, but acting like you're working so hard and things like that. I wanted to do something outside of that, but I had to make a choice. Do I really want that? Because what that means is I got to drop down and make $35,000 a year for a year or two, grind my way up, and then eventually get to where I'm at today, right? Relationships, obviously, if something ain't working out the way that it should be, and I'll give it my a-okay, eventually that has to stop, right? So for me, this situation for my life, I find it that if I'm not comfortable, it's not okay for me and I don't feel right. Like even my last position, I had to get out of there. I'm not going to sit there in a miserable position for year after year after year. I'm not sure why he zoomed into Bernita, but all right. But
That was
it's
that's
a
not
little
me.
weird.
That's
Okay,
not
that's
me. That's not me.
okay.
Okay.
But
My
but
bad. I
no.
got it.
But like I'm not I refuse to sit in the position where I wasn't happy. And a lot of people will sit and be in a position where they're not happy and just literally complain. I need to get a new job. I need to get out of here. I need to do something else. I'm just going to do it. As soon as I find out the way or the pattern that I needed to do. So I stayed with my current position because I wanted to get my master's degree for free. I mean, I stayed with the same company, but I didn't want to stay in that position. So when I looked up how long I have to stay in one position until I can transition, it was 6 months. When that 6 month hit, I was already went through the interview process and had another job already lined up because I refuse to live my life uncomfortably for no reason. Like all this stuff is made up to me. And I understand that my thought process is completely different. But money doesn't mean anything because it really doesn't mean anything unless you put meaning behind it. And if everybody agrees on the same thing, then that's what it is. But honestly, it doesn't mean anything. Right. So for me, I have a different perspective on my life. So I make those changes immediately when I see that I need to make those changes. And I might not make an announcement,
but there's a plan behind it, and it doesn't have to be instant. There's a process behind it, and I understand that Pops told me a long time ago, and I'll never forget it. Do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. And he's ingrained that in me. So I have no problem doing what I have to do so I can do what the heck I want to do later on. So for my life, even in meetings, even in school, son, I wrote my first discussion. You had to do a video. They were like, what's your best method of communication? I like email. I don't like Zoom meetings at work because I don't like code switching all the time. Who says that? Me. That's who. I'm not going to sit here and code switch for y'all so y'all can feel comfortable. I'm not going to do that fake laugh so y'all can feel comfortable at work. I'm not going to act like I'm not black so it makes you feel comfortable that everybody's one race and one same and one unison. No, I'm wearing my do-rag in this shirt to work. Literally. I will wear this shirt, Malcolm, whatever. I'll wear a Black Power shirt to work, and I'll wear a do-rag to let you guys know that I'm different. This is who I am. And I'm okay with that. But a lot of people feel like they have to fake their way through life or just struggle or go through something. If I feel like I need to do something else outside of this, then I'm going to try to figure out a way to do it. And it may not be instant, but it's going to be a long-term plan to get the heck up out of there. So personally, I feel like this podcast is a long-term plan of us getting out of every situation that we're in work-wise. Because it only takes one clip that makes it so now we're popping, right? It only takes 1 second, one yes. That's all you need. I can have 5,000 no's. I can have 10,000 no's. I don't care about a no. I just need one yes. That's it. One yes changes your life. 10,000 no's do absolutely nothing. But one yes, we're good. So that's what I live my life off of, based off of getting that one yes. And I know how to get it, and I'm not worried about the instantaneous, I got to get it now, and it has to come down, or else it won't, if I don't get it now. Because now, that's not how you play the game. That's not how you get successful. But you see what I'm saying, though? Like, for me, I know you asked me a question of how I live life. I try to. And I think because of what's happened, especially 2021, you ain't got as much time as you think you do. Right? So, and to make sure that you're planning long term, but you're also making sure that you have instant gratification as well. So it's not all suffering, because I don't suffer. But it's a mix of those two. But I make sure that if I'm not comfortable, if I don't like it, if it's not edifying me, if it's not good, if I'm not, I don't want nobody sabotaging and satellites my name. You know, I'm not gonna deal with it. I'm not. I don't have the patience. I don't need to have a conversation about a conversation about a conversation. It just is what it is. You'll be all right.
All right, Nita, let me ask you. I'm going to reframe the question the same way, right? Do you believe that you're living your life the way that you want to live it? Or do you think you're living your life going with the flow? Or do you think you're living your life the way, depending on like the circumstances and opportunities, and living your life because of the decisions that you made? And I hope I'm framing that the right way, but it's just like, are you living your life? Do you think everything you're doing right now, I'm doing it and I got it because I want to get it. I wanted it. I'm living the life. I'm doing it my way. Or do you feel like, well, I'm doing what I got to do and I'm just living life going with the flow, and whatever's presented to me, I'm taking that? Or do you feel like I'm living life based on the decisions that I made, and this is just kind of the consequences of decisions that I made?
For me, right now, I'm living my life the way that I want to live my life, with the mindset of always being prepared for
Russia to kill Ukraine.
who? No, that too. With the mindset of always being prepared to have to live my life because of experiences, situations, or if stuff happens. So in other
I
words,
know what you're
I'm
talking
doing,
about.
yeah,
No, I
I'm
know
doing
what you're
what I
talking
want to
about.
do.
I hear what
If
you're
I
saying.
ever gotta go grab
You
and
gotta
do
go
that,
do what you gotta. You gotta
then
get
I
them,
can
and
grab
it'll
them, throw them
change
on my
it.
shoulder, and we're gonna ride on out.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I
So
feel what you're saying.
yeah, I make good choices, because I like to make good choices and I want to, and I'm doing exactly what I want to do. But I ensure that also, I always leave the door open, for my grandbabies. That's who my picture is. That's what my life. I got 5 of them. About to have 5, her due any day now. So my life is me, but it's definitely open and ready for them little 5 munchkins to be running all around. I can have all that background noise right now. And that's another reason why when I say,
Mhm.
I'm looking for a dude, but at the same time, that dude got to be prepared for 5 people or no people. It could be just this quiet and me and him and kicking it, or tomorrow all 5 of them little munchkins might pop up and he better be ready. Like, well,
And
where's
he don't want to see the big one because the big one got an attitude problem.
woo? Well, that would be, I said grandkids. I didn't
No,
say
but I know who
kids.
yeah, but you know who I'm talking about though.
And
Yeah, the
that's why
big one
I
got
said
an attitude.
grandkids. I didn't say, because my sons are grown. Robert and Tonio, I
Uh,
think I raised them enough. And I have stepped back so much, you guys, out of their life and just allow them to do them. Like, if they ask, I'll give advice and give options, but I am not controlling it. So if you make the best choices in the world, man, woohoo. If you mess up and make a bad choice, it's okay, because everybody does. Woohoo. You still, but it's their life. My sons are grown, and I gave them everything that I had when I was a parent that I could give. Now it's my time to watch them utilize it the way that they want to. They got whatever, they got their tools, and I can't try to control how they use the tools that I gave them. Use them. But I'm here for my grandbabies. I got them if they ever need me.
yeah. So you feel like you pretty much living the life your
Like,
way,
I'm
your
good.
rules. You living life how you want to live it.
Right. I'm
You
good.
every decision that you make based on that you living. That's good.
Yeah.
Jones, let me ask you, how you feel you living? I'm gonna ask the same question. I'm gonna frame it so you can answer. But do you feel like you living your life by your rules, the way you want to live it every day? Do you feel like you're just kind of going with the flow? Up until this point, your life has just kind of been, going with the flow, or do you feel like you living life based on, consequences of decisions that you've made in the past, and now you live in life based on those decisions?
I think that maybe consciously or maybe unconsciously or yeah, unconsciously. Like this is a super therapeutic type question, right? Like, some days I feel like I do, right, but other days no. I do feel like I guess my life or the where it's at in its current place is um a product of past decisions. You know what I mean? So I think the question then becomes like, how do you either overcome or how do you address said past decisions? You know what I mean? Are they positive? Are they negative? Right? You know what I mean? And how do you work within those parameters? You know what I mean? I think that for me, it would be naive to say that outside influence doesn't necessarily dictate or at least add a portion or have a say so, if you will, in how I am now. You know what I mean? So for me to say, nah, man, I got my own shit. You know what I mean? And this is just for me personally, right? Like for me to say, nah, I got my own shit, right? Like that would be dishonest. You know what I mean? No, absolutely. Outside influences dictate, or at least right now, right, dictate where I am and how I feel, and where I'm at. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of I'm a big fan of something that I heard, which is essentially feel your feels. You know what I mean? And so like it's a matter of at this point there's times where shit, nigga, I feel my feels. You know what I mean? But there's other times where I have full control, right? So I guess that's my long circuitous way of just saying that I think that the question is fluid, right? Or at least my answer is fluid. There's sometimes where I'm like, no, I got this, and there's other times where um nah, I don't have it. But with me not having it, being able to recognize, like, yo, I don't have control of this. Let me try to figure this out is important.
True. And the reason why I asked that part, because it's a setup to the next question, right? Which is the beginning of every stage that you guys are all in. So with Jones, you being at the end of your career, right? You're in the army, um, and you coming to the end, coming towards retirement time, right? Where Eventually, you're gonna be retired, and you've been doing the same job for how long? You been in the service?
20.
20 years, right? So you've had the same kind of lifestyle. You pretty much used to it. You know what's going on. So for 20 years, you've been doing the same thing, and now you're gonna come to a point where you're gonna have to figure out something else to do, right? So, with you being at the end of one career and on your way to the next career, do you feel like the transition is gonna be something that you're gonna control, or do you feel like the transition is gonna be like where they just drop you off somewhere, then you got to figure it out?
Ooh, those are two separate questions, right? And two things can be true at the same time. Do I feel like I'm going to have to figure it out? Yes, but to go to the latter of your question, no, that's exactly that's exactly what they do, right? And that's why I tell a lot of soldiers, like a lot of my soldiers, you know what I mean, when it comes to giving them some game and shit like that. That's why I let them know, like, listen, here's the reality of this situation, nigga. When you get out the army, nigga, ain't nobody fucking naming a tank after you, naming a building after you. Ain't nobody fucking like naming an award after you. Like me as a person that has put people in the army or has been in charge of putting people in the army, I have essentially already put your replacement in, right? So with that being said, yo, you have to look at this from a realistic perspective, right? And that realistic perspective is your replacement has already been identified, homie. Like, period. So, with that being said, when it's time for you to get out, nigga, they're going to give you, if you retire, they're going to give you a folded flag, right? They're going to give you an award and they're going to say thank you and pat you on the butt and say, hey, make it, right? But with that being said, and that's why I said two things can be true at the same time. With that being said, you also have to be able to acclimate into what we call the civilian world, right? And then that nigga Reg will tell you, right? Like I've had to have conversation with Reg. Like Reg will talk about goddamn PTO. This is real talk. I had no fucking clue what PTO is. Zero. None. Right? Where I had to talk to that nigga Reg, right? Reg had to give me game, right? And give me the information like, what's PTO? I don't I don't understand what you're saying, right? Or shit like time and a half, right? Where I've had to ask Reg, like, yo, Reg, the fuck is time and a half? Let me go to a more pedestrian subject. I've asked Reg before, yo, how you find a doctor? How you find a dentist? Right? Like these are things, right? Because you got to understand, like for me, it's a matter of, hey, you soldier, fucking dentist, doctor, there, go. You know what I mean? So these are things that I have absolutely no clue of that I've had to lean on my brother for. So is there a natural adjustment? Absolutely. For sure. If I'm going to be fair, when you get out the army or whatever branch of service, I'm gonna presume, but specifically for the army, do they have programs or classes like resume writing or how to acclimate yourself to the civilian world? I mean, yeah, sure, right? But are they worth a shit? No, not really, right? So it's gonna be your responsibility to be able to ascertain these things yourself. You know what I mean? Luckily, I got Reg, I got Lil Chris, I got, you know what I mean, niggas that'll put me on. But so that's what I'm saying. Like, are there times where there's a bit of anxiety? Is there a bit of like, holy shit, what the fuck am I about to do? Yes, right. Like y'all have to understand what's about to happen. Essentially, and what I like to liken it to is, I'm about to be dropped off in a foreign country that I've never lived in as an adult. Right? Like I've never lived in the quote civilian world as an adult ever. I have no clue. Right? Like that nigga Rich had to tell me there's such things like sick days or 6 hours, sick hours. Like what? Wait, you can take 6 hours? That's a thing. Word, right? So yeah, there's a natural adjustment, and within that natural adjustment, there's for sure a bit of anxiety that goes along with it. So when you ask me, or when you ask the general question that was posed to me, you know what I mean? Like, am I living my life my way? I mean, perhaps, sure, I guess to a degree, but there's also. Mhm. No, no, not at all. Not. It's not a matter of this is where I want to be. It's a matter of is this where I should be, right? Like there's a there's a difference, right? So, like Reg was saying, like yo, I did my first 3 years in the army, and after I did my first 3 years, let's be clear, like let's be unequivocally clear here, right? Let's jump into this, right? Let's be unequivocally clear. Like my first 3 years when I joined the army, I was 19, right? So I was 19. I joined the army. I was 2 years out of college. Yo, shout out to Fergus Falls, gang. You know what I mean? 2002. You know what I mean? Football state champs. So, anyways, so nigga, I joined the army, and when I'm in the army at that time, so I was 19. I'm 19. I'm in the army. I deploy, and when you deploy to Iraq or wherever, whenever you deploy, you're gonna get extra money, right? You're gonna get hazardous duty pay. You're gonna get overseas pay. At that time, we got an additional like I don't know an additional rack or like 1,500 for every month we did over 12. So we ended up doing 15. So I say all that to say, nigga, as a 19, or I joined when I was 19. I turned 20 in school. I turned 21 when I was in Iraq. So, anyways, so nigga, at 21, right? When I come home at 21 and we got all this money, all the money, all like your paycheck is tax free, all that shit, right? So when I'm over there, nigga, I'm making mad mad money, like nigga, like it was crazy. It was absolute bananas. It might not be a lot to a lot of motherfuckers, but to me at that time, 21, yo, nigga, this is the most money I've ever seen in my bank account ever in my life, right? You let me tell it, nigga, I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, right? Like you can't tell me a motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? Keeping on top of that is that I had given moms racks, right? I gave my mom's racks when I was over there to finish the house, whatever I gave it to her for. You know what I mean? So even when I come back, nigga, I got straight cash, homie. Shout out to Randy Moss. So from there, I come back with straight cash. You can't tell me a goddamn thing. Like yo, like I'm feeling good. However, within that, what do? What you end up doing is accumulating bills, right, in a lifestyle that is advantageous to the army, right? So after 3 years, the army asked me, "Yo, you want to stay in? You want to get out?" And at that time, I'm like, yo, fuck this army shit. Like, I'm tired of asking motherfuckers, can I go to the bathroom? I'm tired of putting my hands behind my back to talk to motherfuckers. Like, nigga, this ain't me. Like, I'm straight. I'm cool. You know what I mean? The only way I'm going to stay in this motherfucker is if I become a recruiter because I can go back to the city, right? Minneapolis. I can go back to the city. So I get out. Nigga, I think I get out. What you say, Reg? Like 5-6 months, yeah? Like 5-6 months. And let me tell you what, and I tell all young soldiers, whatever, nigga, if you're going to get out after your first enlistment, have a fucking plan. Have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, it's going to be ugly out here. I didn't have a fucking plan, right? So nepotism. I get out. I did. I had you. I was a manager at Panera, right? So I'm like, yo, I get out. Nigga, I do a couple odd end jobs. That nigga Reg put me on Panera. I stopped working there. I'm a barber, or I go to barber school at Moeller Barber College. Shout out to Moeller Barber College for a minute. I work at Foot Locker in Ridgedale. I work at the time the Brooklyn Center, Radio Shack. Shout out to Rita. You know what I mean? That put me on. And nigga, that shit lasted for like 5 months. Where I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Hold on, you had 5 jobs in 5 months?
Nigga. Reg, am I lying? Nigga, I'm telling you.
Yo, wait. I'm not going to say what. But the things this brother said to get off of work, the brother made up some crazy stories to avoid
Stop right there, Reg. Stop right there, Reg.
I'm not going to say what.
No. Just stop right there. I told them niggas my goddamn daddy died to get off work.
It ain't that serious, man. You should have just said I ain't coming in.
Twice.
Hold on, your dad died twice.
Twice.
Hold on.
Wait.
You
I
only
felt
took 1 day off, huh? Well, your dad died.
Wait.
You only took 1 day off, didn't you?
I felt comfortable because I really don't rock with the dude that came in my mom. So I'm like, damn, who can I say died? Oh, I can say that nigga died, right? Like, so.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that nigga anyway. Okay, I understand.
You know what I mean?
I
That's
just
funny.
caught on to that whole
That's funny.
right here.
So no, Reggie's absolutely right. But yo, I had like 4 or 5 jobs. You know what I mean? Like when I was out for like those 4 or 5 months, like those 5, like it's like 5.5, 6 months.
It just wasn't for him. It just wasn't.
So you
I wasn't
saying
prepared. I wasn't prepared.
so, okay? So now are you telling me that? So was it more of the money is what made you go back to the army, or was it the fact that you know what? I'd rather be in the
Great
army
No.
than
Great
to
question.
do all of this shit.
Great question. It was both, right? It was the army, and it was also at that time a sense of purpose, right? So shout out to my man Lil Chris, my cousin Lil Chris, right? My brother Lil Chris, because Lil Chris worked at Foot Locker. So at the very end of this time that I'm talking about, that nigga Lil Chris, I was cutting hair at Mulder Barber College, and I was working. That nigga Lil Chris got me a job at Foot Locker in Ridgedale, and I'll never forget, man. I'm at Ridgedale after I go to barber school. I mean, after I was in class at barber school, and then I go to Ridgedale, and I'm working at Ridgedale. For everybody, is a mall, and what is it, Hopkins, Minnesota, and they used to have a Foot Locker there. So I'm in Ridgedale working at the Foot Locker that my cousin Lil Chris put me on, and I'll never forget, the double is that nigga. There came a point where nigga I got to the back, and I'm like, this nigga just asked me for like a size 10 and a New Balance. Like, I literally months ago was just at war. Like, literally, I was just at fucking war. And now you're asking me for a size 10? Nah. This ain't it. Nah, I'm straight. I'm cool. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit of both, right? It was a little bit of, I did have army bills that needed to be taken care of. However, there was also a sense of purpose that I had in the army that wasn't being fulfilled when I was a civilian, because I didn't have a plan. You know what I mean? So at the time, and that's not to shit on anybody that works at Foot Locker or gets people shoes or size 10s in the back. You know what I mean? Just at my time, like, nigga, you're asking me to get you a fucking, you're sitting here asking me like, what's the fucking foot striking fucking pressure on this New Balance when you run. And nigga, I literally just got back from Iraq. Like, stop asking me dumb shit, right? Is how I felt. So I ended up, you know what I mean, going back in. So and going back in, I did all of that shit in like 5 months. I ended up going back in. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people, man, if you're gonna get out, have a plan. And if not, it came a point, Dala, and this is a very circuitous way to answer your question. There came a point where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me get everything out. Let me get everything I can out of the army that I can. In the first fucking 10 years, I gave the army. You want me to be fucking super soldier? You got it. You want me to be the best fucking worker out, man? You want me to do the most push-ups? Reg, tell you, nigga, we live together. Nigga, I used to be in the room doing push-ups, sit-ups. Reg, remember I used to go running down on the parkway and shit? Nigga, like, nigga, you want me to be fucking super soldier? Nigga, I'll be fucking super soldier for the first 10 years. However, as soon as I hit 10 years, because I made E7, I made Sergeant First Class. Most people don't make Sergeant First Class until they're about 15 to 17 years in the Army. I made that shit in 10. You feel me? So, nigga, you got the first 10 years of my life. However, as soon as I hit that 10, that back 10, nah, that's for me, homie. I need that, right? That's where I ended up going to get my degree. That's where I ended up going to get everything that I have now. So yeah, no dollar. Once I decided to go back in, I went in with a plan, which is first 10 Army, back 10 me. You know what I mean? A lot of it, some of it was money, some of it was just posturing, if you will, to make sure that I was true.
So after the first 3 years, then you decided that I'm gonna do this for the whole 20. You made that decision that I'm gonna be here for the whole run. I think that's kind of dope, actually.
Army, I mean, Dollar, this shit's easy. Army shit is easy. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This shit is fucking easy. Nigga,
No,
only
it's
thing
not.
you gotta do is
No,
be
it's
at
not.
the right place at the right time in the right uniform.
Don't you gotta run?
Yeah, but nigga,
See,
you get used to that shit.
that's not easy then. That's not easy.
No.
You have to
But you
run.
get used to that shit. Like you
You
get
have
used to
to
that
eat.
shit when you're in
You
basic
have to,
training. Like,
do you get to eat whatever you want to eat?
yes,
They
In a
don't serve
can.
y'all?
eat whatever you want to eat.
Okay. Well, that's a good part. Hey,
Yeah, you eat whatever you want to eat. Like this army
sit
shit is
down.
easy. Right
Sit down.
place, right time, right uniform. That's it. And after I did those 3 years and I got out, and I was like, yo, this civilian shit is for the birds. After that, I realized that, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and knock out this 20. You know what I mean? Because if I could do 3, my next enlistment was, I want to say, like 4, right? And after those 4, if I could do 7, I could do 10. If I could do 10, I could do 20. So I mean, it was just a matter of stacking them shits together.
But
And,
now,
you get some people who, I'm not saying that this is him, but you get some people in the army, and then we get off this army shit. You get some people in the army where you got to understand, man, like if you do something from like you're 18 or maybe sometimes 17 to 37, 38, 39, like that's all you know, right? Like period. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's difficult for individuals to kind of separate themselves, you know what I mean, from not letting the army or the service become their identity. However, I was just fortunate enough to have some good OGs and to have a good sense of mind. And Reg, to tell you, right, like I never let this army shit become my identity. You know what I mean? Ever. You know what I mean? But there are individuals that do, where, like, what do you do? Like, think about that shit, right? Like, think about if you did the same fucking job for 20 years and then one day someone said, all right, you done now.
Yeah, no, that's what
Right.
I would think, right? Yeah,
What do you
like
do? That's tough. That's tough for some people.
it's yeah. You know, and for 20 years, just doing the same thing for 20 years is just, you know, that's why I said, are you kind of just going with the flow? Are you living life the way you wanted to live? Or are you just living from consequences? So
No.
finding out that you actually made this decision and that you're actually living this because you wanted to is kind of dope.
Yes, no.
Mind you have to have the realization of knowing why you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing it for, and are you ready for the next step in life, right? So we always at different phases, and we all got different points in our lives, and we all got to make these decisions. And I want us to just take a moment to reflect on because this is what I did this week. I took a moment to reflect on what I'm doing, why am I doing it, and what do I really want to do, where we're going forward. In sake of time, because we already been doing this for a while, and I got to get to the radio station tonight, because I told myself I ain't been there in like 2 months. I gotta go. We want to get to one of our favorite segments of the show. And speaking of doing what I want to do, you know, I appreciate this dude because he's taking this segment to a whole nother level. He's investing in himself and he's stepping his game up every week. And we appreciate what this brother's bringing to the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, D Jones. So D Jones done got bougie on us, right, y'all? He's upgraded. He no longer does his reviews live. That's so yesteryear. That's 2021ish. From now on, we do our views with professional production. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the original podcast, very own D Jones Reviews. Yay!
Welcome to D Jones Reviews. What is good, people? I appreciate y'all pulling up as always. The film we're going to get into this week is Dogface, a trap house horror made in 2021. So, peep the plot. After moving into a haunted trap house, a troubled young hustler from the streets begins to discover his true purpose. This film is directed by my man, Felix Jordan. Let's jump into the cast. First, we have Latasha Jackson playing the role of Jasmine. Next, we have Terrence Moore playing the role of Derek. Next is Tina Sakia playing the role of Wanda. Next up is Elena Mike playing the role of Charisse. And lastly, we have John Pratt playing the role of Hondo. It's time to move to the hits.
pretty. It's so pretty.
In the misses.
Here we go. Ah!
As always, we're gonna start with the hits. Right off top, the opening scene was dope as hell. The way they layered the multiple dreams Hondo was having was brilliant. Super creative writing. Next, this was a very well-written script. I'm not even gonna front on it. And on top of that, the actors killed it. I mean, they did have my man Terrence out here sounding like old girl from Coming to America, though.
Bark like a dog. A big dog. Woof, woof, woof.
He said, a big dog. No, but all in all, man, everyone killed it. And lastly, I love how unpredictable this film was, right? That unpredictability built a fair amount of tension and suspense and fear at some point. But now on to the misses. There seemed to be some type of symbolism in the film, specifically on the number 11, as well as the list of house rules. Here's what I couldn't understand. Was there a deeper meaning behind them, or were they just completely arbitrary? Either way, I didn't feel there was a requisite payoff or explanation for there to be so much focus placed on them. Next, I thought the full introduction of the three witches, the prophecy, the portal, all of that came way too deep into the third act, because as soon as it was all revealed, the movie was over, right? I would have liked to seen all of that introduced just a little bit earlier in the third act so there could be a deeper dive into it, as well as explore the relationship between Hondo and Dogface a little bit more. And speaking of Dogface, I'm trying to understand why my man was walking around with a swole body, with a damn German Shepherd head, just shanking cats. And lastly, and this isn't even necessarily a miss, it's just a question. Why didn't y'all leave the house after the white man John Blue killed himself in front of Derek?
Reporting live for Black TV. White folks are dead. We're getting the fuck out of here.
And what did y'all do with the body? Right after that happened, y'all just moved on to Derek's girl coming downstairs, telling them, hey, baby, why don't you come upstairs and play games? Play games? Not trying to play no damn dominoes right now. Just seen this white man kill himself in front of me.
Wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
It's time to wrap it up. I'm not going to front. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into when I first started Dogface. However, within a matter of minutes, I was all in. Granted, there are a few flaws in this movie and some things that I personally wish were done better. Quick side note, what happened to the damn trap house? It was in Hondo's dream in the beginning of the film, and we never seen it again. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, the writing, the casting, the acting, the plot, even the special effects were all on point and meshed together well. So with all that being said, let's take it to the Blackfish rating.
And I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black. I'm blacker than black, yo.
All right. Did we want to go here and guess what we thought the Blackfish rating would be, or you want me to keep going? You want me to go through?
We should guess. I like the guessing game.
All right, here we go.
I'm actually going to say 3 because you didn't talk bad about it either.
I'm gonna say a 4 because this is the
Okay.
the most positive review you had of all the movies we've seen, and it was actually, I did watch it. It was actually a good one. I wasn't mad at it at all. Like, it wasn't that bad. It was a little corny sometimes, but that's just,
In some
it
places,
is what
yeah.
it is.
In some
But
places,
overall, like the 3 baby mamas, that's what I tried to say. Like, they just was 3 baby mamas. It was, they were a little weird with their seances, but other than that, it was a good. I would say it was good. It wasn't that bad. I would say 4.
I'm gonna go with 2 just because he was talking so good about it. I think maybe you might try to throw us for a loop on this one. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say 2 Fister.
All right, we got 2, 3,
And a 4.
All right,
Yes. Let's see what the answer is.
here we go. I'm giving Dogface a trap house horror the Blackfish rating of 4 black pissed. Out of that, that's all I got. Be back here.
Okay. All right. Why did you have to wink at us? That was a little weird.
Yeah, that was
You
that was
weak at
probably
you weak
aggressive.
I don't
on
know
all
if I like the
the
wink. I don't know if I like the wink.
He's always winking.
I
You
am
might have
always
to do.
weekend.
You might have to do something else with the wink. Hey man, 4 fists. That's dope, man. Thank you, D Jones. See D Jones reviews.
Hey, let me tell you
Dog
what, man.
face.
Hey, dog face, man. Let me say this, man. Yo, shout out to everybody in dog face, man. And I believe it was my man Terrence, right? I believe. Let me get his name right quick, man. Terrence actually came into my DM, man, and asked me, or you know what I mean, suggested that, you know what I mean, I do dog face, man. So I had a couple in front of Dogface, and then after, man, I was like, you know what, man, let's give it a shot, man. So super shout out to Terrence and shout out to everybody in Dogface, man. I got a couple of the actors and actresses following me from Dogface, following our pod from Dogface, and they're just showing love, man. So yo, I absolutely appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, I know I said this last week, but I have to say it again this week. 2 weeks ago, I was asking for 100, right? I was asking for 100 followers, and y'all got me there, man, and I appreciate it. However, yo, within the course of a week, yo, we at 130. So, yo, thank y'all so much, man. I got the rosé here for you. If we get to 150, let's get to 150. But right now, man, I am so appreciative at the 130. Thank y'all so much, man. Again, shout out to Terrence for suggesting Dogface and sliding in the DM and hollering at me. And outside of that, deal double, man, that's all I got, man. The Hood Movie Critic, man. Appreciate you, brother.
No, we appreciate you, D Jones, man. Again, Dogface. Make sure you check it out. Where can the people watch Dogface at? Where's it available?
Yo, Maverick Movies, Tubi, and Amazon Prime Video, and Peacock. So Peacock, Prime Video, Maverick Movies, and Tubi, man. You could definitely shout out. I mean, you could definitely find Dogface, a Trap House Horror on all those platforms.
Okay, so
Shout out to Maverick Films.
I got a question. Why the literal dog face?
You know what? That's why I asked on there. Like, I didn't understand it. I don't know why.
Like, I don't know where this dude is just walking around with a Rottweiler face. Like, literally. It's called dog face, and you thought that might have been metaphor. No, it's a literal brother with an actual dog face mask on.
I didn't get it. That's what I said in my
then
review.
there was Morpheus, step cousin. He was in there.
Yo, that nigga looked like Bobby McFarlane. Like, don't worry.
Yeah, but he had the Morpheus clothes.
like
without
nigga,
the
Deal
shine,
Double.
like,
in production, if you could put a picture of Bobby McFarlane, and I'm gonna send you a picture of this brother that nigga Reg is talking about. Yo, it's like diet Bobby McFarlane.
Hondo was cool though.
Hey, we got to get you to 1,000. We need to get you to 1,000 followers, fam.
I'll be happy.
We need to get you to 1,000 followers. So we got the 130, but we got to get you up to 1,000. We're going to follow D Jones Reviews. Make sure you follow D Jones Reviews. Follow the Original Podcast. I want him to have more followers than us in the next 2 weeks. So by episode 10, we need D Jones to have more followers on his platform than the whole Original Podcast. 2 weeks, I need y'all to support, man. D Jones Reviews, real talk. We're going to get you to 1,000, brother.
Yo, and lastly, man, let me shout out everybody like that helps me. The Original, you know what I mean? D.O. Double, man, you do. Reg, you do. Yo, Oopsie P does. You know what I mean? Whitney does. Lil Chris, like, yo, they're just you want. Without getting super emotional and deep into this, man. Like, I've been so super like grateful and emotional and just like thankful for like just random people like reposting me, you know what I mean? My boy at the nick of time hit me, you know what I mean, and reposted me. Like, all the help that everyone's been sending me, man, I appreciate it. So let me shut up before I start crying. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Hey, what you need to do is a review of Medea's Homecoming. Just came out on Netflix.
No,
it's gonna get one fist. It's gonna get one fist.
No,
it's gonna get one fist right off top.
We just watched that last night,
and that was hilarious. Oh,
how many fists you give it?
I give it a 450. I give it 4 fists. Easy.
I haven't watched it.
Easy. Easy.
Reg,
What
show
is
me
it
the
on? What
Easy.
do you got? What is it on? What
It's
platform?
on Netflix. Medea Homecoming.
Terrible.
No, it wasn't. It was the most funniest movie, a Medea movie I've ever seen. I laughed the whole movie. Now they get a little corny when they talk about weed
Son,
every 5 seconds.
every scene
Every
is
5 seconds they
2 minutes
talk
too
about weed.
long. They don't know when to stop. They drag everything on where they take a funny situation and they drag it at point where it's like, all right, enough. How long was he gonna run around burning? The first scene of the movie, son, he is running around burning for 5 minutes. Why?
like chlamydia burning.
No,
No,
he
like
on
on
fire.
fire. And then
Oh,
after he was literally on fire, he was just sitting there chilling. Like, I was on fire, Medea. You would be dead in the
Hold on.
hospital
Did you
trying to
see how
recover.
he used a lot of lighter fluid, fam? I mean, of course he was be on fire. He used a lot. But I kind of, with that scene though, I kind of understand what you mean by it's a little too long.
They just
Because
drag every
I
joke
thought he
on.
was dragging the. I thought they was dragging the fact that he was pouring the lighter fluid in there a little too long. Like
Every single thing that they
That
do,
was-
he
wait, Reg,
drags
how many
it.
fish you give it? How many fish you gave it, Reg?
He don't even
4.
get a fist. He get a.
4.
He get a.
The
I'm not even
DOW, you
closing
give
my
it a
hand. I'm
Yes.
not closing my hand on any Medea.
Really?
Yes. I give it a 4 fister. It was
He
hilarious.
says it's
But like they
big
did
boy
spend literally, they spent 2 minutes pouring lighter fluid in the grill.
2 minutes of lighter
Like
fluid
literally
for one
2
cook.
minutes of pouring lighter fluid in the grill. Like
And it wasn't
literally.
even that big of a fire.
And then they spent another 3 minutes talking while he's pouring lighter fluid in the fire. It was funny. And then it was just a raggedy ass.
They
It
just
was
drag
hilarious
it.
though.
The
It was
scenes don't
hilarious.
combine.
And it was a good twist.
Outside, then the next minute they just inside for no reason on the couch. What happened? Why is he back on the couch talking to the brother?
Cause he had to leave from outside because they was tripping outside. Remember?
Okay, hey, 4. Keep it 4. 4 is a relatively high bar, DOW.
Fam, that movie, I laughed the entire movie. Plus, I got to shout out Shed G. Shout out to Shed G. I don't know if y'all know who
'cause
Shed
that's
G
his,
is,
stunt
but
double.
he did radio in Minneapolis for a long time. And now he does comedy. He's a Christian comic, and he's kind of funny. But shout out to the boy Shed G Comedy. He does a stunt double for Medea, and I never watched any Medea movies. I think other than one other one. But this movie was so funny, it made me want to watch the other ones. But I never watched Medea movie because I'm like, man, I ain't finna watch dude. But it was hilarious, fam. All right, is there anything else that we're gonna talk about, or any last words before we get up out of here today, man? It's been an original podcast. I appreciate y'all hanging out with your boy.
Did you already record my update? We're just doing a 2-second update on my dating life.
Oh, that's right.
Let's get to it.
What's up? So yes, your girl Scooby is back in full effect. This was the first week that I decided to go outside, and I have started my I'm single. Do you want to be the grandpa that I love? Search. I had a very interesting week. I have already been on one gathering, and it was that I met an individual younger than me. So I know before I said 40 and up, I've changed. I'll let you guys know the age next week. I'm gonna see how long that goes first. But I did enjoy the time. I got roses already, you guys. I got dinner already. Of course, you get drinks and stuff when you hang out. No biggie. And I'm actually scheduled to go on my second date this evening. Nice meet and greet. I'm gonna go off of Selby. And I have a rule. We meet, we greet, we hang out for 1 hour. No matter what, even if you like me and I like you and we cool, whatever, we leave and walk away after 1 hour. That's my way out. So if I really don't like you, don't have to be rude. I can get on down. If you really don't like me, you only got to hang out for an hour. You can get on down. So wish me blessings on that. But it's on the move, you guys. And I've had a lot of fun. I like to think about because I'm finding out a lot more about myself when meeting different individuals. I'm loving the attention. So we'll see what it turns out to be. And that is my update. Any questions?
Out of Pappy.
Do you want to be my grandpa? Oh, wait. My bad. I'm bugging. Do you want to be my young son?
Exactly. I don't know.
I like that.
The younger guy that I met, he's super handsome and super cool. So we'll
I
see.
don't know if I want to do that.
I think that's disgusting. Okay, and I don't approve of it. Okay, but if it was me, I'd knock a 27-year-old down, knock her down, knock her down.
Yes, indeed.
Like
buddy.
D Jones, 21,
Come on, man.
18,
Come on, man.
18 and up.
Come on, man.
I think it's funny
18
because
to
y'all know I
70.
don't look my age, but I told him my age. That's the part. I
If
told him
she
how
can
old I was.
drive, if she old enough to drive, she old enough to ride.
Any situation where a musical person was talking about the age not being a concern has always ended up in trouble. So I want y'all to be careful with this age situation. No one in history has ever come out good with its age ain't nothing but a number.
Oh, I disagree.
Ooh,
Ronnie Bivens.
how they doing?
Who?
Yeah. Ronnie Bivens? No,
Yeah.
wait. Michael Bivens, excuse me. No, Ronnie DeVoe. There we go. Ronnie DeVoe.
He got a young girl.
No, yeah, and what
That one
was
song
that?
is talking about
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
somebody
about.
being underage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a grown man. He ain't underage. He's just younger than me.
No, that's not what.
No, he want him a
In the song.
16-year-old. He like him in high school.
What's the joint I'm talking about, Reg?
I know what you're talking about.
Who wants him in high school?
Was it Poison? I'm gonna get back to y'all.
Let me see.
Poison. Poison. So no advice? Fine. Don't give me no advice. I don't need it.
What was it Michael Bivens who said it? Or Ronnie DeVoe? I might have been
It's
Ronnie
Poison.
DeVoe. It is Poison?
I
No,
think.
do me.
Yeah, there we go. Do me. Never trust a big button to smile. Ooh, ooh, that booty. Yeah, yes. Yo, if you
All
listen,
right,
He was talking about her being in high school.
Yeah, hold on.
yeah. He said backstage, underage, adolescents. How you doing? Fine.
Yep.
Yes,
Oh, Lord.
that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I bugging, Reg? Quote me.
No, you good. Hold on, I'm looking for it
I
right now.
remember
though.
that part of the lyrics. Yeah, I didn't even pay attention
Yes,
to that. till you said
yes.
it.
It took me a minute to get there. But I knew I was going to get there.
Backstage, underage.
Underage adolescents. How you doing? Fine. She's a dime.
You look like AJ dancing like that right
man.
now.
Yo,
Put them on my TikTok with they
Hey,
little. They
I
song
can't
that
even.
was hitting it.
I can't even lie. When I was 20, I dated a girl underage.
what's underage?
She was 17.
Really? She was 17. Yo, damn.
She in
I'm
other
so
room right now.
All my
Actually,
homegirls, you got-
Did y'all watch
20
that?
Photo to all
20,
my
20 years
girlfriends,
later, we
and
married.
y'all said yes. We're
Oh.
cool.
Did y'all watch that?
You said
Did y'all watch
20
that
years
music?
later you're married.
Y'all watch
Watch
that
what
music in that music in Anthony Hamilton? You know,
Yeah.
music got a song about an
Yeah, but he was saying he ain't going with it. I'm not doing with it. Yeah, that was different. He wasn't saying anything was okay. He was saying, "Heck no, I can't mess with you no more. I'm not about to go to jail for you."
But
This ain't
he was
cool.
he was also saying she was bad though.
Because he said he was putting up the scenario like, "Hey, I talked to her, but I thought she had the body of a woman that was 25 years old.
Can I tell you
Thing that
something?
had everything that a man was
Actually,
looking for."
Without
But
getting
something
too
seemed
deep,
shady when
and
I asked my
Bernita-
lady.
Bernita, she can attest to this because we've seen this in real life, working where we worked at. But I've seen girls 14 looking 25.
Yeah.
And
I was like
I've seen grown men knowing that she was still
I'll do you
14 and looked 25,
I'll do
still
you
get
better.
down.
Des,
see,
you know
that
exactly
part-
what name
for.
I'm about to say. I'm not about to say her name, but begins with a Y. And there was
I
a
was
young
like that when I
lady-
was young. When I was 14, mom used to be like, "You can't wear this, you can't wear that, you can't do that."
listen.
Dad got me a T-shirt that said
That actually
jailbait
makes a
on it.
difference. That makes a difference to what she's saying because what Scoop is saying right now is that she wasn't allowed to wear the things that whom you're about to reference, Reg, was allowed to wear.
Yeah.
But also, you got to understand, for you to even be in that position, you would have to be a certain age. and she even fooled them people at the job. We was in a situation where she fooled the job to thinking that she was older than what she was. No
They
one
didn't
knew how
take
old
her
she
ID
was.
when she got hired.
I don't know how it went down, but she was working at a position in which you had to be a certain age to be. So we all assumed we were
I'm
all
gonna be
the
honest
same
about this.
age.
I'm gonna be honest about this.
What's
Nigga, she was fine, nigga. I ain't gonna front, nigga. Like, nigga, she was bad, nigga.
And
Like,
how old
let's be
was
clear.
she?
I think
Nigga,
she
she
was
was
like,
bad.
what was she like, 13?
No.
Yes, she had to be like 13.
No. No way. Maybe because I may have been a sophomore,
Yeah,
or
she
I
was
might
like
have been a sophomore.
13.
I might have been.
So you were like what,
16?
16, and she was like
Hell no.
13.
Hell no. Sophomore in high school, I was what?
Sophomore in high school, I was
15?
driving.
I was 15.
No, I'm just saying me. So when that happened, I had just got my license right after it. So I was 16.
Okay, let's just be clear.
So she was
she
like
probably
13.
should have been fucking at that age. Probably not.
No.
Whatever age it was, she probably should have been fucking.
She was like
No.
13 years old, but if
I
you
didn't fuck her though. Let's be clear.
But once
Let's
again,
be
it
clear.
wasn't
I
Dez. Dez had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I
It was
didn't
somebody
fuck her.
else.
Yeah,
But and the person was also underage, so they weren't 18 or nothing like that. But she was way younger than what she looked like.
it was almost like a middle school, high school thing.
Yeah, but she looked like she was in her 20s. And I am not being sarcastic. Like, there was nothing about that young lady that looked like she was 12 or 13 years old. Nothing.
No,
Yeah,
She
I've
was like
seen.
in her 20s.
No, I've literally seen girls and the bad part is we was at Arkansas, so we was at a shelter for kids that run away and all of that, and these girls wearing grown women clothing, looking grown women
She
with
was
the
just
bodies
wearing
to
regular
match.
jeans and t-shirts and
We
still
used to
look
have to really have
20.
good conversations
I don't think you
with them
understand
because
what
they
I'm
looked
saying.
hurt,
Reg, you
but
sitting
didn't know
here
how to
acting
clean
like-
that stuff. They just be just as funky as they want to be.
Reg's sitting here acting like he get an egg and get the yolk out. You know what I mean?
You get the egg and get the yolk out.
Get
You
the
want
yolk.
them that young?
Get the yolk.
The why? The why?
And get that Drake. Kiki, you love me. You know.
I don't know what the hell this nigga talking about. All I know is that I literally don't. I don't catch it. I don't literally
How
don't
did we
catch it at
even
all.
get
Literally.
here? We was talking about me.
The yolk. No,
And
I'm
the
talking
young
about
cat.
the yolk.
Y'all
and
done
then
went into.
the Kiki. Yo key.
He said, "Yo, key."
So I'm saying though, dude, 27.
This dude trying to say her name so hard.
Because she was bad. Because she was bad.
And actually,
Because
she
she's
ended
bad.
up marrying a what's it, a music producer.
Did she really?
She's balling out here.
No, she's bad. Like, nigga, she's
Yeah.
bad.
Like she
Nigga,
wasn't
bad.
no joke.
She was young, nigga.
But
Real
she
talk.
looked like she was like 20 something years old at the age of 12. And my boy
I might get out of
got
here
caught
now.
up. No, I don't think you in her tax bracket. you was not in her tax bracket. You got to go down the street on South Beach. That's where she's at.
Yeah, but how about if I put my tongue in her butt?
Yeah.
Does that
Anyways,
make
enough
sure-
about me.
does
How
that-
about
That'll
you?
probably work.
Thank you, Bernita.
I thought we was
appreciate
wrapping
that.
this up because he just
Thank you,
closed the
Scoob.
podcast right there and there. Like
Thank you,
you
Scoob.
just, if you just wanted to
No,
stop
no,
talking,
no,
you
no,
could
no,
just
no, no,
logged
no.
off. You didn't have to say that.
Hey, wait, let me ask you a question. Everybody
if a
slipped.
nigga don't got
Your tongue has slipped in the asshole. Everybody, right? Everybody
Yeah,
slipped one
that's what I'm
time.
saying. Like,
One
if
time.
you don't
At
got-
least once.
Yeah, absolutely.
You, the males you talking to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You better
Okay.
not put your tongue in a nigga asshole. That nigga's
And
gay.
in that order, right?
Hold on, wait.
Look at this. He's like, well, I mean, if it happens.
Listen,
Hold on, wait a minute.
listen, what
Y'all even putting your legs in the air, fam?
One or two things gonna happen. Either
Oh, Dan, no. You put your legs in the air, Dan?
Oh, you talking about me?
Yes, do you put your legs in the air?
Oh, no, I lay on my
Okay.
stomach, nigga. That's vulnerable.
Ain't nobody messing with y'all.
Sometimes you gotta let it
Yeah, that's vulnerable, nigga. I lay on my stomach.
No.
Nigga, you ain't gonna have my legs over there. Listen,
Let it happen.
listen.
Don't fight it.
Listen, I'd rather
fight
you
it.
spread my butt cheeks than hold my shits up in the air, nigga. Like, nigga, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one, nigga.
Your legs in the air like you finna get your diaper changed.
Nigga, you ain't gonna hold my legs, nigga. Like, lay me on my stomach and spread my ass, nigga.
We are destroying all toxic masculinity. Okay? Let it happen.
Oh my gosh.
Don't fight it. Don't fight it.
All right, nigga. So, do you want to be a grandpa? I don't know.
That ain't a part of the grandpa.
That's not part of the grandpa.
No, that is part of the grandpa. Grandpas do.
Yeah. So, Bernita has to get advice on getting a man. Man, our advice is try them out till you find one you like, man. That's the advice, man. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with trying it out and seeing what you like, and you might find a nigga that like to put his legs in the air.
Don't put that shit on Instagram, nigga.
You might find a nigga that like to put his legs in the air. Hey, I got you, Jones. I ain't gonna get you.
Oh
Do
my
it twice.
God.
Like double it up.
All right. Any last words before we get up out of here, man? I'm ready to go now. Y'all done got
All
me
right,
ready to
let's do it.
Just believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. That's right. Are you serious? Scooby, you got any last words before we get up out of here today?
Water, canned food, candles, batteries. I say be prepared. Cash on
Be
hand
prepared.
at your house.
Well, I suggest you get solar power.
It's going down.
I suggest you get some solar panels on your crib then.
Hey, in Hawaii, everybody got them joints.
I got the whatchamacallits over here. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm thinking
What?
about it.
Yeah.
But my little neighbors, they got some. So I was
Oh, yeah,
checking
I
neighbors
got
this.
do.
solar panels.
Yeah. I'm thinking
I
about
suggest you get solar panels. One, it reduces your electricity, and you can get paid off of your solar panels if you got enough. So if you go over what you use,
it.
then you can just get paid for that. So they can be
Yeah,
sending you a
so-
check each month.
Plus, you ain't depending on nobody. You have power forever. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I need to invest in solar panels.
I'm with it.
G. Jones, any last words before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. The only thing I got, man, is real niggas lay on their stomach, man.
And on that note, it's DJ Double OG, man. It's the original podcast. Y'all gotta excuse my background. It's looking crazy, but my bedroom
That's a
look
good
even
background.
look even more crazy. All right, I love y'all, man. Peace
Love
out.
you
Man, be good, man. Peace.
I'll
See
let
y'all,
y'all
man.
know
Have
how
a
the
good
day
evening.
goes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. All right, peace out.
Peace.